going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. And today, on Saturday, the day of college football, we are reintroducing ourselves to the world of College Football Revamped, aka NCAA Football 14 mod, here on PC. And we're going to get back into NCAA rebuilds. Now, the biggest reason why we're introducing this series is because I got to slow down my Madden 23 franchise modes, because until we get some patches there, I'm very nervous every single time I close out of Madden that my game is going to crash and I'm not going to be able to get back into Pink Slips. I'm not going to be able to get back into the Panthers franchise. So that, combined with the fact that we've done college football rebuilds before. On my main page, I've put up the old playlist if you guys want to go see some of our old videos with last year's rosters. But it was a series that I only ever played it because I just wanted to play college football game. It wasn't so much like I wanted to make a series, I wanted to rebuild every single team. It was just College Football Revamped arguably is the best football experience going right now, and I wanted to play it. And I feel like let's come back to that a little bit here. Let's have some fun. Let's rebuild some teams. And I have a different twist on it, which I'll get to here in just a second. But let's talk about our first team trying to rebuild here in 2022, and that is my beloved Florida Gators, a team that in real life actually is currently going through a rebuild with brand new head coach Billy Napier coming over from Louisiana. Massive step up in competition, and so far he's been solid. I say that as a Gator fan, but our roster is very intriguing, and the biggest reason why our roster is intriguing is this man right here, Anthony Richardson, redshirt sophomore, the freakiest quarterback in college football, the highest ceiling quarterback in college football, especially as it relates to a NFL prospect. I think if you're an NFL team, that you want to swing for the fences, and that's an important thing to note. Swing for the fences means that there is very much a side of risk that you could strike out and he'll be a bust. There's a chance. But if you want to swing for the fences for the next guy that could be a Josh Allen, I think Anthony Richardson is as Josh Allen-y of a draft prospect as we have seen. 6'4", 230 pounds, 89 speed, 90 agility, 92 acceleration. We have a ridiculous cannon of 96 throw power. You watch Florida Gator teams, the cameraman can't keep up with the amount of fucking flames that are coming off this guy's passes. He is ridiculous. He makes being a Florida Gator fan. He's had a couple rough games, but then he also I would have gone through a hurricane here, so I had to watch this game on my phone, and it was pretty choppy, but they lost to Tennessee. He had over 500 yards in that game. So very polarizing, a lot of developmental. I think for the sake of this rebuild, which will be a 5-year rebuild, how many years of Anthony Richardson are we going to get? Is he going to declare right away? Is he going to declare as a junior? Are we going to be able to get him till he's a senior, which is unlikely? But that's definitely stuff we're going to have to pay attention to. Beyond that, remember John Kitna? Well, that's his kid. We have John Kitna's kid as our backup, which is kind of cool. Now let's quickly kind of go through the roster here. The running back room is very interesting. Naquan Wright feels like he's been at Florida for 9 seasons. He's very well-rounded running back. Johnson followed Billy Napier from Louisiana. He saw Linger was a high recruit. The guy that I'm most excited for, though, is Trevor Etienne, the brother of Travis Etienne. Great Clemson football player. Now he's an NFL player. I'm not going to, I'm a James Robinson stan here, but he's doing his thing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But Etienne, so far this year, he's a freshman. Anytime he's got on the field, he's been the most electrifying running back that we have in this room. And I'm very optimistic that he is going to be a superstar in this rebuild, and he's going to be a superstar for the Florida Gators. Wide receiver room, this is one that I really want to focus on as it relates to our recruiting in this rebuild. I feel like our wide receiver room is not the best. Henderson, only a redshirt sophomore, 85. That's a good starting point, but Shorter's solid, Pearsall's solid, Whitmore's solid. There's not a lot of game changers that we currently have right now at wide receiver. Height, weight, speed, and Weston just a little bit. Get a couple freshmen here with high 70 ratings, which is nice, but I really do want to try to prioritize recruiting big at the wide receiver spot and also the tight end spot. Zipperer, good veteran, good solid senior here, 85 overall, but generally speaking, not a lot of upside. We don't have that Kyle Pitts-esque prospect at tight end right now. O-line is solid, but, it's more so, heavy on the seniors. 85 left tackle senior. Ethan White's a senior at guard. Iglaquin at center at 86. Osiris Torrance, another player that followed Billy Napier from Louisiana. He's our highest rated player right now with a 93 rating, rightfully so. He's an NFL player. He's probably going to go day 2, maybe day 3, but very solid guard, big powerhouse, has been crushing it since he's been in the college football world. And look at this, our right tackle, redshirt freshman Cameron Wait, 6'8", almost 400 pounds. Speaking of almost 400 pounders, D-line, Brent Cox cleared the bell of the ball here, 89, the former Georgia transfer. But you look at the defensive tackle spot. Gervin Dexter, 92. Baller. Might be a fringe first rounder, potential first rounder. But in my opinion, the most impressive guy on that front so far has been Desmond Watson, 6'5", 400-pound sophomore. This guy here is hilarious. He's gigantic, twice the size of everybody that's out there. And he's been good. I mean, the Florida Gator defense this year has been really, outside the Utah game, pretty disappointing. You know, it doesn't feel a whole lot different than the defenses that we've had the last couple of years, which have been terrible. But there has been a couple stars. I think Watson, very high potential. Hopefully he develops for us, takes off, and becomes the next great Gator D tackle. Linebacking room, much like the wide receiver room and the tight end spot, I do think this is something that we need to recruit fairly heavily. We have Ventrell Miller, who's been at Florida. I mean, he's the Gators' version of Hunter Renfrow. He's been here for 17 seasons. But, senior, he's 87. He's solid. Wingo's a junior. Amari Burney, who's absolutely stepped up this year. He's been great. He's 85, but he's also a senior. Dawan Black, senior as well. So we need to get a lot more depth, a lot more youth here at the linebacking spot. So that's a spot we want to try to prioritize a little bit. What we don't really need to worry about is the secondary. Secondary is good. Jason Marshall, outstanding athlete, 89. He's only a sophomore. Kimber, the Georgia transfer, sophomore, junior, freshman, sophomore, freshman. This room here is going to be good. It's going to be not necessarily set and forget, but I don't think it's something we need to prioritize. We have a lot of depth here at the corner room. Same with free safety. Don't need to worry about that. Free safety looks solid. Torrance, really, really well-rounded safety. Strong safety, I think Trey Dean's probably, as I look at all these ratings, the most overrated player. I'm not particularly impressed with him at all. He's terrible at tackling. I've never seen a 6'3", 210-pound DB be a worse tackler than Trey Dean. Needs to be said. But get a lot of depth behind him there at that safety spot. So I don't really think we have to worry too much about the DBs. But linebacker, wide receiver, tight end, those are the kind of positions I want to prioritize here in our recruiting. But it's this whole team this whole rebuild is how far will Anthony Richardson take us? For recruiting in year one, it does help that we're Florida. You know, if we were doing a team that didn't have as much of a reputation, we wouldn't have these kind of prospects for us available. We are not going to really prioritize quarterback, but again, there is a chance that Anthony Richardson dips out of his redshirt sophomore season. He is eligible. So we have Michael Mason, a 4-star quarterback that we're currently leading some pretty big schools, and he comes out with a +4. He is borderline a diamond, 95 accuracy right out the bat. Very intrigued by that. Unfortunately, not a lot of crazy wide receivers. I mean, we have a couple that we're going to try our best, but we're very much on the outside looking in. Like, we have the #1 overall wide receiver. At least we made his top 10, I suppose. But we scouted Alston, who is probably our likely, top guy that's classified right out of the way as a wide receiver. I mean, he's solid. We talk about tight ends. 2 really high-regarded tight ends, a 5-star and a 4-star, are very intrigued to potentially be coming to the University of Florida. We are second place on both of them, and they're solid. Like, there's not anything too crazy. Babatoon Stone, like, that is absolutely a Babatoon Stone if I've ever seen one. We have actually had a couple diamonds that we have scouted here. Right here at guard is a big one. Jeremy Ward, diamond, +5. He's up to a 79. He's a JUCO, so we're not going to get, true freshman. We're not going to get 4 years, 5 years out of him. But a guy that might be able to come in and contribute right away to next year's team. So that is a little bit important to me. Defensive line, defense is a tough one because I think our defense is so good. But there's just more so when guys are really interested, you just can't ignore it. And Philip Merriman, we are top 3 for him. Notre Dame, LSU are currently ahead of him. He's 79 and has that diamond, which is, you always want to just look for the diamonds. It helps you out a little bit. Linebacking core, there are some linebackers. This is a spot, especially on the defense side of the ball, that I want to prioritize. We have Kevin Hawley, 80 overall. He got a +4. So we've done our homework on him to make, really all these guys are better than expected, and we are first place as it stands for 2 of the 3, hopefully 3 of the 3, because we desperately want to try and improve this. Really, the #2 middle linebacker in the country also is leading Florida right now, so we can do a lot of damage here to our linebacker. We've got a couple DBs. I'm not going to prioritize DBs. Push comes to shove, they can drop off just a little bit, but I think the best way that we're going to go about trying to get a wide receiver is going to be these athletes. I mean, Florida's always been a school that can attract these freak athletes, guys that are positionless, and we're going to hope that some of these guys can potentially develop into a wide receiver. Josh Ball, with the zone coverage, that's going to be a DB. We got Tom Hicks, who's, again, probably a DB of some sort. John Norman, though, I think this is the guy that we're going to be looking for if we had to prioritize. He's either going to be a DB or it could be a wide receiver. Got the 84 zone coverage, 90 pursuit. You might want to maximize that. But 84 catch and traffic, 73 spec, 86 route running, 80 catch. This guy's a freak. This guy is one of, like, if we can get him, he might have to be the belle of the ball. We got to compete with the trillions of dollars Texas A&M has for the recruiting. But I think John Norman, out of any player in this entire recruiting class, he could be maybe the highest potential, the S-tier type freak that we might need to try to prioritize. But generally speaking, I mean, hey, helps be in Florida. We got a lot of top players potentially signing here by the end of year one. We have year one, essentially, of the Billy Napier era. It sticks off against Toledo. You know what? It's been so long. It's been like months since I've been on this. Let's just kick the shit out of Toledo and get this rebuild started right. Let's go, Gators. Anthony Richardson gonna go for 7 touchdowns, 9 million yards today. I guarantee it. Got him. What? Okay. Okay. I see you, Toledo. Oh, there we go. That's a big throw. Finally, 24 yards. Xavier Henderson up to the goal line. And Aquan Wright punches it in. Gators on the board first. Boom. Got him. Aquan Wright. I mean, when you have such a weapon like Anthony Richardson in the backfield, like every time I've tried to run that read option, the D end is sold out on the quarterback. That's how much of a threat it is. Opens it up for our running backs, and Aquan Wright gets in for his 2nd touchdown of the game. 2nd touchdown of the first quarter. As you can see by Anthony Richardson's stat line, very much a working out the kinks type game. You're gonna be able to come in, you know, day one and you know, get 900 yards, even though that was our goal. But we're putting together a good string of drives here, and I think much like in real life, there's gonna be some ups, there's gonna be some downs with Anthony Richardson. Hey, finally the deep balls there. Last time was picked. That is how quickly we're correcting things live in game for the remainder of this season. That was a pick. Same throw. The chemistry is being built here in game one. Touchdown, Ricky Pearsall, the Arizona State transfer, and we got humming. Couple bad throws, turnovers, if you will, but we got this team at least closing out week one. We're closing this out with a lot of momentum. Carry that through against the bigger teams. We'll take that, man. That's how you start off the Billy Napier era. Wasn't perfect, but Anthony Richardson, almost 300 yards, all those touchdowns. That's how you start this thing out. That's how you start this rebuild out. We just kind of go through sim. This is a good like placeholder game. What happens when we sim against a team that on paper is better than us? As week 2 we take on number 14 Miami, and close lot. No way that's happening. Miami can't beat Middle Tennessee. They're not putting 38 up on the Gators. Early season update, recruiting, whatever you want. As you can see in the background, we just beat Tennessee 35-21. And that was a big game because we had a lot of official visits. Michael Mason, 81 overall quarterback, 95 accuracy. We fully scouted him. He's committed to the team. That is our insurance policy in case Anthony Richardson just jumps to the NFL. A lot of other visits. It was positive visits. We got Ronnie Holmes at wide receiver. Again, we wanted to prioritize improving that wide receiver room, and getting a 77 freshman is going to do a lot as far as, changing the long-term outlook of our wideout room. I would just, at this point, recruiting settled out. I just felt like safe to sim through the season. Beat Georgia 17-10. Let's go. At the end of the regular season, we have punched our ticket to the SEC championship. SEC East champions. I mean, I knew as soon as we saw that Georgia victory, things were probably going to be looking pretty good. But before we hop in, we'll sit front row. It's year one. Let's see. That's a big matchup against Alabama in the SEC championship. Let's take a look at how our recruiting has kind of played out. We have 8 targets still left, but the class that we have committed, I mean, look at that right there, man. That's about all you need. We got athlete, ball 78, tackle, D-end, athlete, tackle guard, quarterback, wide receiver. We really just, home runs. It's a small class. It's a light class. We'll probably have to get some depth pieces maybe once the offseason hits. But for, that's probably going to be a top 20 class, maybe even higher. SEC championship time. Number 7, Florida. Number 3, Alabama. Every advantage going the way of the Crimson Tide, but they don't have Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, 31 total touchdowns, just shy of 1,000 yards on the ground. Dexter, 4 sacks, 3 picks for Marshall. Looking at Alabama, Will Anderson, only 2 sacks. I mean, that's something that's always kind of been an issue in NCAA's sim sack. They're like, Will Anderson should have 22 sacks, is more realistic than 2. Bryce Young, 32 total touchdowns. They got Eli Ricks there with 2 interceptions. It's going to be a tough game. I don't think it'll be one-sided. It's going to be very difficult, though, for the Gators to get this win. I will just sit front row this one. Let's go to the end of the game, see how it breaks down. Bama strikes first. Back-to-back. Florida able to get a touchdown there to pull it within 1 score. I just think the biggest thing, if this match actually ever happened in real life, it's just I don't think I'd have much faith in the Gator defense being able to shut down Bryce Young, but it's competitive, 14-14, until Bama got 2 real quick scores to open up the 4th quarter. We're able to get a salvage touchdown to make it look closer than what it was. But, you know, we're just at different points. Bama is Bama, and we're in year 1 of the Billy Napier era. So as long as we hope and pray, for those of you that are religious, that Anthony Richardson comes back for his junior season, I think we'll have a better shot next year. Anthony Richardson balled out. I'll take 300 yards, 3 touchdowns from our superstar quarterback. Just couldn't really run the ball. Controlling the line of scrimmage was a little difficult for our squad. And then defensively, you know, we did get 1 sack from Brent Cox. But if you can't affect Bryce Young, he's just going to pick you apart, man. That guy is so damn good. Trophy winner in year 1 goes to Jahmyr Gibbs from Bama, the Georgia Tech transfer. Just dominant. 1,500 rushing yards, 22 rushing touchdowns. He is a complete back, can catch out of the backfield. And, I mean, it was close. Henderson from Ohio State's right there. Charbonnet. You have your typical Naval Academy guy that always makes it. Braylon Allen, who's an absolute monster for Wisconsin. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it before this rebuild's done. But how about, you know, maybe next year, let's get Anthony Richardson on that short list. Maybe even win it. After failing to win the SEC championship, we get knocked down to the number 10 ranked team in the nation, and we get to take on number 25 North Carolina State in the Peach Bowl. So to dominate North Carolina State, there's levels to this. 45-14, improve our ranking from 10 to 9, at least as this season ends. I mean, they're not bad. Devin Lear's NFL caliber quarterback for sure, but you're not Anthony Richardson, who absolutely went off there. 273 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 99 yards and a touchdown on the ground. What a month. Hopefully, you know, he doesn't go on the high road and say this, I'm cashing out on this type of performance and going to the NFL. Please, please, please return. And just kind of just put the cap on the season. Here's the stats for year 1 of our Gators rebuild. Anthony Richardson, just shy of 3,000 yards passing, 27 touchdowns, 14 picks. Kind of about expected for this point in his career, as a 94 overall. 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, Naquan Wright. Almost 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns for Anthony Richardson. Really, the only thing is, you know, you want to get ETN just more touches than what he got. On the receiving side, Justin Shorter led the room, 52 catches, 869 yards, 9 tutties. But, I mean, as we broke down, really our receivers aren't overly impressive. It's a room that needs to get overhauled. Bring some new weapons in. 5.5 sacks. Dexter leads the team. Cox with 4.5. TFLs were good on the interception front. 4 picks. Jaden Hill. 3 for Jason Marshall Jr. Looking at our players that are leaving. I mean, the seniors are the seniors. Zipper is gone, so we need a brand new starting tight end. Bernie's going. I mean, no underclassmen really that I'm too worried about. Trent Whitmore, who's like a slot wide receiver, getting an outrageous 4th round projection. But best of luck. Brent Cox, Osiris Torrance, Bernie. I think all those guys are going to be solid pros. Able to steal and add 1 more player in the offseason, Simeon Campbell, 75 athlete. I mean, when I saw that we were on his top 5 and we're competing with the Ohio Bobcats, who I'll say right now, shout out to Ohio Bobcats. You guys keep having Canadians at quarterback, which is pretty dope. But all said and done, first recruiting class for Billy Napier, come 15th overall in the nation. That is really good start. Getting 1 5-star, 7 4-stars. Really going quality over quantity. From a recruiting class, 2 of our big athletes, man. We got some players here. Josh Ball's a 78 athlete, which is like, all right, that's pretty good. But looking at free safety, I don't even know how much we need a safety, but he's an 81 free safety, so we're going to take that. And then we got Tom Mix. I want it to improve wide receiver Wasn't really a lot of great wide receivers straight up, but Tom Hicks, 81 wide receiver. Let's go. 2 for the Florida Gators, and we open up the season as the number 5 ranked team. But, you know, if you watch any amount of college football, preseason rankings don't really mean a whole lot. We have to go out there and do it. But we have Anthony Richardson back, the redshirt junior, setting his sights on a national title, setting his sights on a Heisman Trophy, 98 overall. Absolute animal, man. He always had the physical traits. Still powers up to 97. The accuracy at 80. It's still a work in progress. I mean, I'm happy we got Michael Mason, our freshman, 95 accuracy. Really like the polar opposite of Anthony Richardson. But when you're as much of an athlete as he is, you know, it's just you gotta find a way. I will say we'll bump ETN up the depth chart just a little bit. I have respect for Naquan Wright. He was an All-American, but I want ETN to get a lot more reps than what he got last season. Wide receiver room, you know, it's only so much that can go around. Hicks is our true freshman. He was the athlete that we converted. I think it's actually worth bumping him up just a little bit of the depth chart to utilize that. 98 speed, freak athlete for sure. Tight end is what it is. O-line comes back. It's a solid offensive line. Not the best, not the worst. Waite's All-American there. Defensively, we need some guys to kind of step up. Dexter returning is massive for us, though. 98 overall. He's about as good as it gets. Linebacking core, work in progress. We weren't able to quite get the recruiting class that we were looking for. But, you know, high upside here, especially the redshirt freshman Shamar James, already an 84 overall. Secondary, very good. Jason Marshall, 94. Impact playmaker. Kimber is a 90. Jaden Hill had the most interceptions on our team last year. He's 86. Running it back. Torrance running it back for his senior season. He's a 91. Trevez Johnson is a 90. Probably our best safety on the roster IRL right now. But all in all, man, very, very optimistic that Florida here, starting at number 5, we can at least make it back to the SEC championship game and maybe contend. This has to be viewed year 2, maybe our best shot at a national championship, because it's likely that Anthony Richardson is going to bolt to the NFL after this season. Looking at our recruits, I mean, it's just, you know, build through the trenches, get some unsexy positions. Marcus Starks would be dope, 5-star tight end. He'd come in and be an immediate upgrade for us. We're trying to invest here on the offensive line as well, just to keep, you know, really for 5-year rebuilds, years 1 and 2, the recruiting, that's going to be the most important. And like for these rebuilds, for these videos, I will usually, you know, put a lot of heavy emphasis on the recruiting years 1 and year 2, because these are guys that are going to be expected years 3, 4, and 5 to contribute. Guys that recruit years 3, 4, and 5, unless you're like 8, you know, we're getting these guys that are like high 70s, low 80s. You're likely just going to be a depth piece for us. But we're going to try aggressive at linebacker as well. Really want to continue to build the depth there. So a lot of 4 stars, a lot of 5 stars. Got a couple athletes here we're going to have to wait, because this week 1, obviously, you're throwing out a lot of scholarships for 50 points. We're going to have a lot more points week 2 to be able to allocate for these players. But it's looking like it's going to be another quality over quantity type recruiting class. Week 9 of year 2 is arguably going to be our biggest game left on the schedule. I mean, we got number 2. We got a little bit of the meat grinder here coming over the next 3 weeks. I mean, even Florida State's crushing it this year. We're currently 4, and if we can run this gauntlet, we might just prove that we're the best team in college football. First up at number 10, Georgia. First test is down, 28-23 to the good guys. Next test is number 7, Utah. Can we get a... they got us. It's fine. Undefeated season off the board. Doesn't matter. If we could be the lone survivor of the SEC, I think we can get the natty still. Here we sit front row for this one. The biggest game yet. Number 6, Florida. I think if we can beat Florida State here, obviously we're going to have to go to the SEC championship game. But a victory here kind of is like step 1 of trying to get to the national championship. Florida State is no pushover. 95 going up against a 93 overall. But they don't have Anthony Richardson. Let's go, man. Big game skill activated. Jordan Travis going against Anthony Richardson. Florida strike first with the nice touchdown there. But, I mean, this is going to be a game that goes right down to the wire. Instant touchdown, Florida State on special teams. Wow, we might be seeing our best chance at a national championship slip away. Florida State kicks our ass. Come on, Billy Napier, get your team ready. With the loss of Florida State, we were firmly the best team in the SEC East. And you know what? I don't know if we can make, a 10-point, 9-point jump to get to the national championship game, but if we could be the one in 12-1 for Alabama, that'd be pretty special. See if we have better luck against the great Alabama. We get opening drive touchdown from Anthony Richardson. I mean, this, again, any game this late could be Anthony Richardson's final game with Florida. And I mean, he's still looking for that signature victory to put him down as one of the greats. And right now, man, our defense just getting ran over by Alabama. Not even close. Not even close. God damn it, man. Heisman Trophy waits. At least Richardson makes the short list. But Xavier Henderson of Ohio State gets it on the back of almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage, 27 touchdowns. A rematch of last year's Peach Bowl. Cool. And at least this year's Peach Bowl a little bit more close as it goes to overtime, but Florida 52. That's all it took, 52. That's all it took. Anthony Richardson just continuing to dominate for us, and our defense continuing to let us down. And our players that are leaving here at the end of year 2, our senior class. I mean, losing a couple guys here. There, Naquan Wright's been a part of a little bit of what we've been building here. Dexter is going. He's going to be a first rounder. Now, Philip Merriman transferring is a little bit of a pain in the ass because he was one of our big-time recruits last year, going to UNLV, poaching our guys. They got a lot of money there. Xavier Henderson, underclassman, is going. The rules that we have set before is that if someone is declaring and they're not a first or second round pick, we can try and try to bring them back. And that is exactly what we're going to try to do. First up, we'll go Kimber. And all right, let's, you're going to regret. Let's start with the easier ones. He wants to come back. We have Cam Waits at tackle. Again, just keep trying to go with hey, come on, school, right? Books and stuff. And we're able to get all of them back. Unfortunately, Marshall, first, second rounder. Go on and get the bag, man. You earned it. National Signing Day is here, and definitely we're building something here. We actually landed Scott Wilson on National Signing Day, 78 overall corner, 4-star recruit, more of a slot role type player. But the big thing, the big story is last year, we were 15th. Now we were within the top 5, the number 3 overall class, 4 5-stars, 6 4-stars. And I mean, we just, we didn't pad our stats there a little bit, but absolutely the kind of season we needed. But regardless, the biggest story of this offseason is Anthony Richardson is returning as a senior. He wants to go down as a Gator legend, and to do so, you have to win the SEC title. You have to win a national title, and a Heisman to boot wouldn't be the worst thing to add to your resume. Our top players, we got Todd Scales, 77 athlete. Be interested to see where he's going to be able to come in and find his best position. Chaz Stark, 78 strong safety. We had a lot of tough competition there. Look at the corners. Able to get, unfortunately, very similar styles. None of these guys don't really have the ideal length for an outside corner, but it fits. I suppose. Linebacker has been very difficult. I had a lot of 4-star and 5-star guys that were kind of in until they weren't in. You know what I'm saying? Real lot of help on the defensive line. DJ Brown, 79. Daryl Dawson, 77. That is definitely going to help us out. Kyle Busch, a defensive end, 5-star, number 3 D end in the country, is a great get for us. And we were able to also improve the offensive line. 270, high 70 guards, Mullins and Wesley. We got ourselves a 70 tackle in Carter. We got Marcus Starks, a 5-star tight end, which was a massive get for the team. I'm really happy with this recruiting class, honestly. Picture recruiting as we go into year 3. This is the final year where it's all right, it'd be nice to get a couple players sprinkled in. And the fact that we have a massive board. All these guys right now are projected to be within, at worst, our top 3. Most of them, we are the first school, at least entering the season. We have Manson, who is an 81. We have 77. We have an 82 punter. We have an 81 corner, Diamond, +5 overall, Pete Wood. Awesome, right? 81 linebacker. We got a 81 linebacker, which is ridiculous. A diamond outside linebacker. The position that we've really struggled. I'm going to try to go all in here between all these linebackers. Brad Manson, the Manson family. Jesus. Too soon? Not too soon. Watching that Dahmer doc and all that stuff on the brain. Either way, Manson, another diamond, +6 as a pass rusher. We got +4 on the center there. this is my class. I want 14 out of 14 for these guys. Here's our first big matchup of the season. We're number 5. We're 5-0, and again, this is senior year of Anthony Richardson. This would arguably be our best chance at going all the way. Our first ranked opponent is the number, what are they, 24 ranked LSU. They're 4-1. Can we keep the undefeated streak alive? Fuck. Our only chance of redemption here against number 1 Georgia at week 10. Shit all season. This is just a 3-loss team, I guess, under Anthony Richardson. And, yep. He's one spot better in the Heisman votes. Yep. Thank God Anthony Richardson didn't declare for the NFL last year. Now he gets an opportunity to play in the ReliaQuest Bowl against unranked Wisconsin in Tampa, Florida. Great. Awesome. And before we look at our bowl game and the final season stats, Xavier Henderson finishes with the most receiving yards in a Florida Gator career. Barely etching out Carlos Alvarez. I'm not gonna lie, never heard of that guy in my life. But, spoiler, we won the Outback Bowl. Anthony Richardson is just dominating shitty bowl games and can't carry this team in meaningful games. SEC championship, ranked SEC play. Okay. Richardson crushed it here in his senior season, won a bunch of awards. 3,900 yards passing, 39 touchdowns, only 5 picks. Also, 700, almost 800 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns. 11 and 13 for Montrell Johnson. Xavier Henderson, 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. Led the team 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns for Marcus Burke. We have on the defensive side of the ball, Shamar James, 103 tackles, 14 TFLs. Great run defense. Look at that by Tyreek Sapp. 20 TFLs on 67 tackles, 7.5 sacks. 400-pounder getting 4 sacks is pretty terrifying within its own right. Kimber, Young, and Shamar James, 3 interceptions as well. The players that are leaving, end of an era for Anthony Richardson, projected to go in the second round, our senior class. Montrell Johnson, Jalen Kimber, Xavier Henderson, Tyreek. So again, Marcus Burke kind of doesn't break the threshold. He's projected to go day 2. But we can try our best to convince Tyreek Sapp, our best edge rusher, who's only projected to go in the 7th round. Again, anytime we can just get away with saying, come back to school. You know, read some more books. That's always a win. That's good for us. Good start to the offseason. It's National Signing Day, and, you know, now we're into the part of the rebuild. We're just, you know, the team's changed. We're not going to have any of the big-name players, but we did have a pretty good recruiting class. Got a good mix, 5-star guys, bunch of guys, high 70s, some in the 80s, and something at least we can kind of hang our hat on here is like, well, no more Anthony Richardson, but maybe we can get and find a way to get this national title with some other guys, as we did pull the #1 recruiting class in the nation. How does our team look like going into year 4, the first year without Anthony Richardson on the squad? Trevor Etienne is our top player, 97 overall. We got Waits 97, McMillan there 96, Corey Collier's 96. But at quarterback, we're actually not going to go with Jalen Kidd. We're going with Michael Mason, who was a part of our first recruiting class, who's just like, if you took Anthony Richardson's athleticism, which he has, he's not the same type of athlete. Anthony Richardson's Cam Newton. But 85 throw power, 99 accuracy. He's arguably the most accurate quarterback in college football. So I'm excited to see like that kind of transparency, because Anthony Richardson never had great accuracy. Like at his peak, he was like 85, 86 accuracy. ETN's here, so obviously we can run the ball very well. Fenley Graham, Dayon Reynolds, and Tom Hicks with that 99 speed leads a really good wide receiver core. Tight ends are great. Offensive line, we got 90, 89, 80, 84, and 97. Big old Cameron Waits on the other side. So our O-line very good, at least as the starters. Justice Boone, 90 overall, 94 for Tyreek Sapp returning. He was our most productive pass rusher last season. We have McClellan and Watson, double 90 starting at defensive tackle, 87, 92, and 92 overall. Shamar James, who was arguably our most productive defender, returning for the linebacking core. Secondary, Jordan Young, 93, Devin Moore, 90, Kennedy, 85, 96 for McMillan, 96. I mean, just 390-plus safeties at free safety. Kamari Wilson is a 94. Wasn't he a 5-star? Pretty sure he was Billy Napier's first 5-star recruit, IRL. Either way, I mean, uber talented team. We don't have Anthony Richardson, but you could argue the rest of our team is as strong as it's ever been. Unbelievable. Lose to Georgia Southern. Holy shit, man. What? We were number 6th rank. And, stumbling out of the gate as we did against Georgia Southern. Expectations completely got thrown in the trash here for year 4. At least we get to play in a bowl game. We finished 7-5, and we're in the Texas Bowl against Kansas State. Shit, even in a down year, Trevor Etienne, whew, that's no slouch whose record you're stealing right there. 1,600 yards, most rushing yards in a single season. We're able to win the Texas Bowl. 2 touchdowns there for Mason, accurate quarterback. Etienne, who is the star of the show, 124 yards rushing on that matchup. Man, unreal. Breaking Emmitt Smith's record. That's incredible. The stats this season, Michael Mason in his first year as a starter on an offense that clearly was run first. 2,100 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, 18 picks, 99 accuracy. I will say, the one thing that I never liked about NCAA back in the day is just like, it wasn't a great game for simming. I always felt like sim and play the moment sim. I was never a big fan of it in NCAA. You get some weird things, weird stats that come along. And plus, also maybe the offense that we're running is not the best for me. He had great rushing numbers by all means. Etienne, ridiculous season, 1,600 yards rushing, 16 touchdowns. We were very much a run-first offense, but Graham, 96 overall wide receiver, had a decent season, 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, plenty of TFLs, not a lot of sacks. 15 TFLs, 4.5 sacks. Tariq Sapp leading the team yet again, back-to-back seasons. Kamari Wilson, though, 5 interceptions on 39 tackles. Very, very pleased with that. Players that are leaving, we have one guy, Mr. Josh Ball. 7th rounder, come on. Pick up a couple more books. Stick around for one more year. We're going to be losing Tariq Sapp, who has been our best pass rusher over the last 2 years. We're going to list Cam Waits, who is going to be our highest rated lineman. Has been, so we're going to be missing out on that. Jordan Young, McMillan, top tight end. Elksness is going to be gone. But, this is when we're going to have to surprise somebody. It hasn't looked great. Hasn't looked great for undefeated season, which you don't have to go undefeated to win the national championship, but it's a lot easier when you do. But crazier things have happened. We're gonna go year 5, give it our all, because we're the Florida Gators, and they're my favorite team, and I would love to see that. Look at our final recruiting class. At this point, it's just kind of bragging, because I don't think a whole lot of these guys are gonna have a real honest opportunity to really play for us. But we got Jeff Berg, 79, wide receiver. He was really good. 75, Andy Moses at defensive end. A lot of depth moves. 78, athlete Matt Taylor. 80, corner, our top corner recruit that we've got. The #1 corner in the country signing on, which was great. We got the #2 defensive end in the country in John Dickerson. He's a 79. Got a depth quarterback here, Nate Harper, 78. It's a strong class. We even got a kicker, all right? These guys got to be enough with our existing players to do it all in year 5. We're about to find out. Year 5, it is national championship or bust. We have an opportunity. Got a long road ahead of us, but at least we start this season ranked, which might be unjust, honestly, given our performance over the last couple years. But we're ranked, and all it takes is for us to get hot at the right time, and we can see us play ourselves right into the SEC championship. That's step 1. And then step 2 is the national championship. Michael Mason is our starter, 95 overall. You can win. You can go far with a 95 overall. We have Trevor Etienne, who is absolutely a legend now after breaking Emmitt Smith's single-season rushing yards record last year. What is he going to do this year? Heisman, potentially, at wide receiver. We got some depth. Tom Hicks, 99 speed. He's our Tyreek Hill. He is our Olympian-level athlete. The rest of the wide receiver room, and you throw in the tight ends. At least Marcus Starks is a 92. But it's not an elite core, but it's still a damn good core with a freak as a wide receiver 1. O-line, we got 92, 85, 87, 89, and 90. Pair of 90 bookend tackles. So that is a great offensive line, arguably the best in the SEC. Top 5 college football. 85, 83 at the edge rush spots. Sacks have been pretty much non-existent for us so far in this rebuild. Chris McCullen, 99 overall defensive tackle. Absolute monster. Linebacking core, we have Mike Weiss, who's a 92. Gavin Goodwin, 86. Shamar James, who's been the star of this defense, 97 overall, 92, 90, and 88 at the corner spots. 94 Josh Ball, who we convinced to return. That is a massive because if he would have left, he would have been, what, late round pick? It was probably a smart decision to return to school anyways. But we had to rely on an 80 overall. Well, you would have been able to convert Chaz Starks to free safety. But happy they returned. And then also, like James at linebacker, Kamari Wilson, his 5 interceptions last season, was one of the best ball hawks in all of college football, regardless of safety or DB. He is back as a 98 overall, and I firmly expect him to crush it this season. This team is outstanding. If we had Anthony Richardson on this team, we would go undefeated and win the national championship, no doubt about it. But we have instead Michael Mason. Let's see what the kid at Garrison City, Georgia can do. You can have one loss. You can have one loss, okay? There's our mulligan. Week 4. Should have beat Tennessee. Didn't. It's our mulligan. We're 1-2. We dumped 50 on almost a top 10 ranked team. We're going to have to win out. Now, best case, our Super Bowl, our national championship might just be trying to win the SEC this year. I don't want to spoil anything. If we can beat 15 Georgia, things could get pretty spicy. Our record's going to be shit. We might be a 3-loss. But with 3 losses, you still have an opportunity to play and compete for the SEC championship. But let's be honest, SEC championship pretty much means you're unofficially the best team in college football. Year 5, after losing to Arkansas and Tennessee, we get to see the 20th ranked Tennessee Vols represent SEC East, take on A&M there, the number 2 ranked team. Fair, number 2 ranked, earned it. We finished as the number 3 ranked team, 10-2 record, but unfortunately did not have the tiebreaker or whatever in the SEC to trump the 20th Vols. So we almost need Tennessee to win for us to even have a chance at a national title, all things considered. So we're very, very nervous right here as we sim to the bowl season. We need a Vols loss. Good news here. Yeah, ETN making the Heisman shortlist. Iverson Celestine from Tulane. So it's actually a guy. Yes! Let's go! National championship! Oh my God, they lost. Tennessee must have lost. We literally got into the national championship game because Tennessee did a classic Tennessee and a loss. It got dog walked. How did that happen? So, A&M was number 2. They beat Tennessee, shit pumped them, 56-24. And they fall, yet, you know what? We'll take it. There's no, we will take it. That is all. Makes no sense at all, but we are in a national championship game. Mason this season, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Highly accurate quarterback, 1,500 yards, 17 touchdowns for ETN. Ross also had a really productive year. Just a really lethal rushing attack. But Trevor Etienne, what a monster he has been. Hicks, our 99 speed, 99 acceleration senior, 700 yards. Just never really a prolific passing offense at any point here during this rebuild. McClellan gives us our best pass rushing season at 6'3", 320. Built like a nose tackle. Today's NFL finishes his senior season, 49 tackles, 22 TFLs, 8.5 sacks. The interceptions weren't too crazy, but happy with those numbers across the board. And somehow, some way, the bag must have arrived on time. Florida is in the national championship game, taking on the number 1 Stanford Cardinal, 12-1. Obviously, we're going to finish this video. We're going to get on the sticks. Let's see what we can do. Look at the tail of the tape. Florida, 8th ranked offense in the nation, 5th ranked defense in the nation. Look at Stanford. Who have they beat? They beat nothing. Pac-12 sucks. They were the 23rd ranked offense, 21st ranked defense. Not brutal numbers, don't get me wrong, but there is not a damn thing they do better than we do. I don't know any of those players. No, those guys are nothing. Those guys are jobbers. Those guys are scrubs. And I firmly believe we're going to do right by Anthony Richardson, and we're going to earn that national championship. we go. Big first play across the middle of the field. We're definitely going to feel that 99 accuracy from the quarterback here today. Now to ask with a 3rd and 8. Tight end is our favorite target here, if we can get him. Or just get immediately destroyed. Keith Burke gets a sack, and we're going to settle for a field goal. Oh, what a throw! Oh, let's go out of nowhere. Simeon Campbell, 70-yard touchdown. That was just like literally just throwing out of bounds. Let's get into halftime, 3-3. I didn't think we had the arm strength to get that ball there, but on a rope. Look at that, up. Ooh, right behind the defense. Beautiful touchdown. Oh, that's so you make the last second dart. Gives you a false sense of confidence. We were perfect 7-7 to that point. Shouldn't have tested it. Should have just fucking thrown that out of bounds. Got him. 99 speed. Oh, come on. That's actually probably the best case. At this point, it's been such a low-scoring game. The more clock we could chew up, the better. But that would have been a beautiful touchdown utilizing our 99 speed, 99 acceleration wide receiver, Hicks. Oh, we got him on the slant. Let's get him his touchdown. Tom Hicks absolutely earned it. I think, yeah, that's a pretty good cushion, especially for how outstanding our defense has played today. Well, McClellan, oh my God. He's been, oh, there's a pick. Come on, defense. Defense, the finishing has been the area that's been a little less than desired. Oh, there we go. McClellan finally gets home. That is a first-round pick right there on the D-line. They gave it to Kyle Busch, but everyone knows that was McClellan. 4th and 10 coming up. This is likely the game for Stanford. They're going to need to get this in the end zone, at least keep this drive going. Have any chance. Whoa! Holy frames. Finish him! It's over! The game chugged so hard because it was like, how is this team that lost its way into the national championship about to win the national championship? Just get the playoff to justify it. For the optics. We didn't belong in here. Well, we just took down the one team, kicked the shit out of them, beat them by 3 touchdowns in the national championship game, which, please let me let's soak it in. First rebuild, back in the saddle, NCAA, College Football Revamped. Biasly picked the Gators as a starting point. Thought for sure we would be absolutely fucked if we did not win a championship within the 3 potential years that Anthony Richardson would be our quarterback. And at the depths, and of all the revamped content we've made, probably the weirdest way we've made a national title game by not playing, by not losing the SEC championship, leapfrogging the team that won the SEC championship somehow. But we took care of business. There's no doubt. The best team, if you know, those guys were the best team. Stanford were this pinnacle S-tier team. We kicked the shit out of the best team. I mean, it would be cool to have another game, maybe us against A&M, just to see who the best really is. But all I know is that when we look at the record books, we're going to see that score line, and our first 2022 revamped rebuild is a successful one. So with that being said, fellas, I hope you guys did enjoy this series. It will be something that I'm going to try to prioritize, maybe getting at least one in a week into our rotation. Plus, I got some other ideas for college football potentially. But again, it's just kind of in this space where I want to slow down the pacing of the Panthers franchise, Pink Slips, just until that October update. And then obviously we can reevaluate a little bit. But I don't think these will be going anywhere. I had a lot of fun here today. So make sure you guys, if it is your first time stopping by, you love the NCAA content, by all means, you can go look at my first videos. I used to make videos on NCAA 14 when it was a new game. So I was actually looking through some of that old stuff. I had like a Hurricanes franchise that was pretty cool. But Yeah, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below to let me know what school you want to see next on the rebuilds. I'll tell you right now, I'm leaning North Carolina because I'm a big fan of the quarterback they got there, Drake May. But if there's another one that you guys want to see, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. Smash that like button if you enjoy the video. It also helps out the YouTube robots, which in turn help out my channel, which is awesome. And that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for a new episode of Pink Slips to drop before the Sunday slate of football games. And I'll see you then. Thank you for watching. Love ya. Have a good one. Peace out.